But anyway, man, as I was saying, bro, like my whole thing was just getting, context as to why would niggas go from, well, these streamers right here, why would they go from just, them butting heads over the fact that they got nominated in the same category, and obviously, each participant wants to win over the other participant. It's like, yo, that's not a big deal, right? But then now you see how niggas are really taking it. You know what I'm saying? You see how niggas really like wigging on each other based off of just like the campaigns that they be pushing, bruh. What? That nigga a guy like involving, things that he shouldn't be involved in. You know what I'm saying? Trying to like, I don't know, cause at this point it's just to prove that I'm better than you. I'm finna win over you. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, yo, why involve, throwing dirt on other guys? Doing that, number one, first things first. People should learn the art of campaigning, I guess. But then, of course, it's Rakai. Rakai is a 16-year-old, 14, 16, like somewhere there, 15, 16, some shit like that, right? So obviously, he's and I feel like that's the reason why DDG handled this one so maturely, is because of the fact that he knows that Rakai, man, when it comes to like maybe challenging people, when it comes to not just challenging people, but just like bigging yourself up, like making yourself so narcissistic, you know what I'm saying? Making your voice sound so loud that you end up winning, because that's what campaigning to be voted for is. You know what I'm saying? It's the loudest voice type shit. But then, I feel like Mu understood that. Nah, it's Rikai. He probably doesn't understand that. He thinks it's like some rap beef where we make fun of each other. This is not where we make fun of each other, or just throw dirt on each other or things like, because Rakai ended up mentioning DDG's son's name on some shit, you know what I'm saying? But then, DDG skipped all that part, so I don't even know, what that was about. I don't know what was said specifically. You feel what I'm saying? But let's get this on my face. But yeah, like he just threw it under the rug, whatever, and but then he mentioned it on that stream way, when he's in these scrubs and shit, right, in front of the desktop, like Rakai, blah blah blah. And then I also saw the title. I was like, wow, what the fuck Rakai got to do with this? And then I saw the fact that yeah, that's what Rakai did, but it's all off of some campaigning shit. You know what I'm saying? Off of some campaigns and shit. And then on the same clip is when I heard Max shot this guy. And as we, run the video back, you see the laser was on this dude DDG. The laser was on him, bruh. It's like, who would want to take you out that bad, bro? Over streamer reward nominations. That's crazy. You feel what I'm saying? And another reasonable thing that, this guy DDG pointed out is the fact that, Max is actually nominated for a Grammy, bruh. A fucking... Matter of fact, round of applause right there real quick, bro. I'm not even gonna do that to Max, bro. I gotta give you those flowers, my boy. A Grammy, bro? Yeah, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's a streamer, somebody who takes the streaming thing seriously, somebody who takes, this content creation thing seriously. You know what I mean? Coming from a time where, it still probably is goofed at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you coming out with the fact that you're a content creator, you're a streamer, you're blah blah blah, maybe in whatever random public space, you might be looked down upon, or you might just be undermined on some shit, you know what I'm saying, until your true aura, your true energy, your true power is felt. And that's what's going on with Max, bro. For him to even be recognized, by the Grammys. Let me actually make sure of this, because I don't want to look stupid. Let me just, it's something I heard, but co-pilot,
hey, what's up?
Is Black Boy Max really nominated for a Grammy?
The 2026 Grammy nominations are out. Artists like Bad Bunny, Kendrick Lamar, Billie Eilish, and Lady Gaga are in the spotlight. It's a mix of established names and fresh faces.
Is Black Boy Max nominated for a Grammy?
Playboy Carti didn't receive...
Black Boy Max.
Black Pumas with their unique... The 2000...
Alright, let me not do that. Play Black Boy Max, bro. Like, yo, bro. I think I need to update my boy co-pilot, bro. This nigga winking. Hold on. Let me just ask it right here. Yo, this is crazy. Yo, what's up, bro? Yo.
Hey there. How can I help today?
Black Boy Max is nominated for a Grammy, no?
I'm not sure about the 2025 Grammy nominees. Let me check that out online real quick. The Black Eyed Peas have been nominated for the 20.
Oh my god, this nigga talking about the Black Eyed Peas. I guess I gotta, type it out. Next Grammy nominee. How do you spell this? Black Boy Max, his first Grammy nomination, making history as the first Twitch streamer to achieve this milestone. Exactly, there we go. Saying there we go, because I gotta put it in front of everybody's face so that y'all never downplay this boy right here. Y'all never downplay this kid right here. You know what I'm saying? It's not just lip service that I be doing. You know what I'm saying? The first Twitch streamer to achieve this milestone. That's what I'm saying. And now, you know what I'm saying? I'm understanding why this nigga moves wigging on this guy talking about, yo, dog, just like, why, how is you campaigning against me? You know what I'm saying? Taking an award when you have a whole Grammy, buddy. Let me have it. I was like, golly, bruh. That's reasonable. I hear that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. I get it. You feel me? I get it. Yeah, bro. Like, but I guess, the level that niggas is taking this is like just, to an interesting height. I just put it that way. You know what I'm saying? To an interesting height, bro. And it's like, this is one of the times when we could actually literally justify having things happen online and not happen offline. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily having to take it offline. So basically the option of things staying online. You know what I'm saying? And these guys, I almost called them an industry. Can we call them an industry at this point? I'm saying they creating this whole like, I'm talking about streamers in general. You know what I'm saying? Content creators excluded, just streamers. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like they can literally, cosplay some stuff, for lack of a better term, to emphasize certain, points that they trying to put across, or POVs that they trying to put across. They can cosplay certain things, like like the MLK-esque type speech that this guy is emulating to do his campaigns, and then now getting shot assassination style, because him getting shot assassination style reminds me of that Charlie stuff that just happened. You know what I'm saying? And they got and that with the attempt of the U.S. president almost getting also, you know what I'm saying, off on some shit. You know what I'm saying? So it resembles all of that, but now it's a cosplay. You know what I'm saying? For him to put a point across, for him to just like campaign for his shit. You know what I'm saying? And then now it goes to him being shot, and then there's this internet conflict with his fellow nominees and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, it's fun when niggas can't keep it online, and it's not real and shit like this. But it's really entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So it's a W from my end. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. There's also this kind of like weird video where Black Boy Max, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been in situations where I've actually like, I don't know if I would consider this a prayer or anything, but like, you know what I'm saying, talking to myself, having self conversations, for me is considered a prayer of some sort. You know what I'm saying? I just like asking. I think I did share this like on one of the previous videos. I was at my work spot, right? And this is not a situation that's uncommon. This is not a situation that has happened scarcely. It happens often. You know what I'm saying? Where I get pressed. You know what I'm saying? I get undermined on some shit. You feel what I'm saying? I'm always the kind to keep to myself. You know what I mean? I try to stay away from a whole lot of people's way, a whole lot of harm's way. You know what I'm saying? That's my ego. That's my mind defending my ego. That's my mind, projecting how I can like try to protect my ego. You know what I'm saying? Because in my head, the whole even being employed type shit, right? It's like, yo, I'm just there doing what I'm there to do, and then I'm back home. You know what I'm saying? I try not to like engage, interact with a whole lot of what's going on. So, but naturally, when you have a mind like this, and if you do have like a character like that, you know what I'm saying, calm to yourself, you feel what I'm saying? That could come up with a little bit of people pleasing syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Let's call it like that. People pleasing syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want people to just like keep their eye, you know what I'm saying, like side eye on you, or some sort of focus on you because of some degenerate energies, you know what I'm saying? So you keep it calm, keep it smooth, keep it sweet, and keep it moving, you know what I'm saying, so that you out of everybody's way. But check it out, people may try to just take advantage of that. People may try to undermine you because of that. You know the whole saying, taking your kindness for weakness type shit, taking maybe, you know, your silence for you being a boost type, hey, my bad for the language, but just undermining, you feel me? And all type of energy might happen. And then for me, yo, that literally, you know what I'm saying, I'm human as well. I have been on a, you know, on a journey of this self-awareness thing where I've bumped into a concept like, well, a philosophy, I don't know if it's a philosophy or concept, but stoicism, you know what I'm saying, like being stoic, things like this. And with that one, I've noticed that I've been that way. I've been kind of stoic just naturally. It's just I hadn't bumped into the concept yet. I hadn't like theorized like what stoicism is yet, but like I've been just like acting as I had already pointed out, right, to myself, just like diplomatic for the most part too. You know what I'm saying? Trying to show the least emotion, you know what I mean, so that I don't show the enemy how to get under my skin type shit, you know what I mean? So I'm human like that. So, but you know what I mean, for some reason, when moments of conflict, moments where I do get undermined, it just burns, bro. The emotion burns as you see what I'm saying? And so with that being said, bro, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I asked myself, I was like, yo, and right, I'm saying all that to say this. These things, they happen at my work spot, right? Elsewhere, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. If you want to undermine me, you gotta know what you signed up for, and you about to find out what you about to sign, what you signed up for. You know what I'm saying? Trying to mess, you know what I mean? Everything got its own consequence. You know what I'm saying? Try what you try, you gonna get what you get. But I'm just saying, at a work spot though, like where you have to like just be diplomatic. Don't show these emotions that will have you, you know, looking crazy. Don't crash out. Even though you got people that do undermine you, people that do get under your skin, people that may just like try to bully you on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're not the person that's being bullied, seeing somebody else that's being bullied, seeing like just like unfair kind of treatment, like craziness, you feel me? That can get under your skin. So I'm like, yo, how have human beings gotten to the point where they've created systems where you have environments, aka 9 to 5s, where a human being can be at a job and not even allowed to express their entire humanity, like, you know what I'm saying, where you do have moments where you will outburst, you know what I'm saying, because of emotion, because of what just happened. And you know what I'm saying, depending on where you work and your 9 to 5 environment, one emotional outburst can cost you a whole, you know what I'm saying, a whole job, bro. And you was dependent on that shit, and maybe a few more people was dependent on you depending on that shit, you know what I'm saying? And then it's a whole just like train of negativity. But then I'm like, yo, dog, imagine this one aspect of you has to be suppressed for, you know, momentum elsewhere to be kept going. But at the cost of what though? You feel what I'm saying? At the cost of just like nonsense happening with you. You feel what I'm saying? So I just said all that to say this, bro. I've had those kind of like questions, like to be like, yo, why do these systems exist like this? Why do these places exist this way? You feel what I'm saying? Where you would get people that just like have outbursts of like emotion. You know what I mean? Or maybe let's say, okay, there are things like policies of how to deal with conflict, especially when you're an emotional person and you have emotional situations that go on, right? There are ways to deal with that. You talk to your higher ups, your superiors, blah blah blah. But then look at that, bro. You have to talk. You have to be all diplomatic. Emotions is not diplomatic, bruh. You do have, you know what I'm saying? You do have emotions that just like come through non-diplomatically, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Where your whole image of stoicism is just crushed because you just like, you're there, dog. You're hot. And I can get it. You know what I'm saying? I just find myself thinking sometimes like, yo, dog, I just wish a nigga would, bruh. Press this fucking 95 nozzle on this nigga's air hole and in GTA. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. In GTA. Chill. So, you know what I'm saying? Just like, imagine yourself just like doing it to motherfuckers at the same time. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like, yo, okay, cool. That's the part of the self-awareness that kind of, but does it ruin some shit? I'm not gonna lie. It did ruin, it's not ruining me, bro, but it makes me justify like things that are naturally there in terms of like what I have at my disposal, aka bruh, if my emotions, because again my ego is being defended here, like another man can't be doing this, you know what I'm saying, can't be acting like this, especially on top of the fact that there are policies that address things like, what is it, code of conduct, like how you're supposed to just like conduct yourself, your behavior at the work spot, and literally initiating or triggering somebody in like just emotionally negative ways, in emotionally triggering ways that are negative. What the fuck I'm trying to say? Like that is wrong, bro. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm not wrong in just like being so hot that I can just like take a motherfucker out right then and there. But you know what I'm saying? We just find ourselves in places that don't consider our entire humanity in certain positions and in certain environments, of which these are environments that we need to survive. And so therefore that's why, the ruining aspect of it, how it has ruined me, I've justified the fact that, you know what, I might just let it rip, because this is who I am, this is who I are, I am a human being, and this is what I have, blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying? And I guess Calcium over here was addressing the fact that may be the negative extreme of developing a self-aware, kind of psychology, the negative version of it, where it's like, no, it's, you know what I'm saying, it's not me justifying the fact that some wrong shit can happen, it's not me justifying that some nigga can lose their life trying to fuck me, it's not that I'm justifying that it's wrong, but it's the fact that I've realized, I could be pushed to that point. You know what I'm saying? Let me just close it off with this. I was listening to check the channel called Convo, Konvo, you know what I'm saying? Penuel the Black Pen. I cannot remember who he was sitting down with. They were like, there was like a piece that he was talking about on there, bro. Damn, what he said, dog. I'm gonna have to remember this part. Shit show. I'm gonna look it up, bro. I swear to God. But you know what I'm saying? The whole just like self-awareness to a point where, feel like it's negative. It's not really. It's necessary. Oh yeah, nah. The Convo piece, they were talking about the fact that it's not about the fact that would you kill somebody? I don't know if I want to use that word. I'm gonna have to edit it out. I don't know how YouTube would feel about that. Would you kill somebody? That's not the question. But the question is, you've just never been put in a position to do it. It's not the fact that would you do it. You know what I'm saying? No, how did he put it? It's like if you were asked, have you killed somebody, right? How would you answer that? You know what I'm saying? And it, they were breaking down the perspective of, no, I would never, versus I just have never been put in a position to do it. So say you were put in a position to even just like protect life. Let's say to protect your offspring's life, though. And you're placed in that position. You got that Glock with a switch on top of the this nigga right there and about to, you know what I'm saying, run up in your daughter's room, son's room, whatever. Man, come on, bro. Letting it rip. You feel me? I feel like you just have not been put in a position to do it yet. It's not a matter of you'll never do it, because you'll never know. Right? I'm just saying. Shit, I don't even know what the point I was trying to make. My bad, y'all. It was just like, yaps, too fried. I'm quitting. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to work on it. Right here. Going, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bust the MOS right here. Look, I feel like at the same time, this is a beautiful thing, but the whole decentralization of just like, everybody flocking to this one space, this one reality, this one room, you know what I'm saying, this one environment to come consume music, aka the industry, aka the radios, you know what I'm saying, aka not even radios, but like the chart systems, the chart platforms, and you know what I'm saying, where all of these, the music league, the music what fixtures, and like this one is at the top for this week and that week, and you know what I'm saying, that whole space, that whole environment. I feel like the breaking down of that and the decentralization of that to like where artists can like go straight to their consumers, and what that is gonna do is that it's accentuate, right? Is that the word to use there? It's going to emphasize your limitations, right? And it has to, because now you have to find a way to get to your, the people that will consume and care about your music in the way that they're supposed to care about your music, right? And obviously that's going to be in the way that you project your music out there, how you deliver it to the people. That's how you're going to say, hey, I want you to care about my music like this. You know what I'm saying? For example, like if it's, laid back stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe old school backpack type, relaxed, soulful, maybe hip hop, trip hop, you know what I'm saying? Ambient type shit. And that's your specialty. There definitely are people that can, appreciate that. You just got to go and find them, right? So where's the limitation in that? You having to go find them. You might, physically have to go find them, but I wouldn't, advise that. Use the internet to your disposal. To your advantage. Use the internet that's at your disposal to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? Man, use platforms like a WhatsApp. I was literally thinking like, using WhatsApp as a Discord, like, centralizing everything, like using it even as a website, bro. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you think about it, you're at a part of a world where you might have people that may be fans of you from across the world, but let's say the limitations of WhatsApp can just, you know what I'm saying, it's only the people that share your country code, the number, you know what I'm saying, that your country like operates at, and then only the people that have that number can like have access to your WhatsApp platform. And then just playing in that kind of realm and knowing that the community of people that would care about your music, that are from a close proximity where I'm at, and have access to my music, you know what I'm saying, have access to my merch, you know what I'm saying, because WhatsApp does have these kind of functionalities where you can sell your merch through them, you know what I'm saying, share links to other platforms, you know what I'm saying, to other content created platforms that you may have content created on, you know what I'm saying, things like that. Even like as a content creator, bro, use a WhatsApp as like a central hub where you can create this group. People have ideas of videos that they react to, that you can react to, drop it on the WhatsApp, and then you as the creator, you go on that same WhatsApp, because you run that shit, you go on that same WhatsApp, and then you have a bunch of content ideas that you can react to. Or, you know what I'm saying, isn't this what happens on Discord? Tell a whole bunch of your community, because that's a whole nother thing now. Let's not build fans this time, let's build communities. And that's what a connection, because it's intimate. Number one, I pointed out the fact that it's going to emphasize your limitations, right? Your limitation to your reach, but what's beautiful is that you have control of that reach, you know what I'm saying, because you established that reach. You feel what I'm saying? So it's nice and intimate, it's more manageable like that, you know what I'm saying, and therefore we can be a community instead of having this star that has these fans, and then we trying to reach these fans from that side of the globe, and opposite spectrums of the universe. It's like, god damn, you know what I'm saying? Obviously that takes a whole lot more work, of which it will need a whole lot more artificially generated efforts to get to our goals, right? Where it's like, eventually that gets to a point, the bubble bursts, people will call you out for the artificial nature in your brand, bro. It's like, whereas once we go direct to consumer, it builds this intimacy where it's like, we become a community where even the people amongst the people that like mutually now know each other through like my music as this artist, they can establish their own connection in terms of business, in terms of social, you know what I'm saying, in terms of whatever the case, you know what I'm saying. And I feel like right there, the fact that you have now cut a whole bunch of middlemen that could, that did conveniently get your artistry to a whole bunch of people, across the world, like, because now you've cut that, cool, that was a convenient thing, but now that you've cut that, your reach is pretty like just nearby now, right? It's like closer now, you feel me? But what's beautiful about it is that there's no middleman to cut this cake with, bro. Everything is yours. So obviously, like, I feel like an artist can get tripped up in the fact that, but what about the numbers, bro? These is not like respectable numbers, like you know what I'm saying? But you build, nigga, brick by motherfucking brick, nigga. That's how you build it, you know what I'm saying? And once you consolidate everything, at a certain point you consolidate everything, you see that it's worth it, because this whole cake that you done baked, bro, is all yours. And it's even enough to share with people that you can get on board to assist you, you know what I'm saying? People that ain't got no purpose, ain't got no plan, ain't got no nothing, they come, they help you respectfully though too, not looking down on those kind of people. Well, But I mean, not fuck. Let me just clarify that by being like, yo, not everybody is built to be the artist, right? Some other people are literally star players as the assists. You know what I'm saying? To a point where they just like golden, award-winning performances type. So I ain't even trying to play that, but I'm just saying like people who just like can see that, yo, I can come through and like enhance this system that this independent artist has built. You know what I'm saying? I can help push it. And then there you go. You got your own system of just like ecosystem of independent, independent community that all came about as that all came about from a base reason of you as an artist getting your shit direct to your consumer, right? Damn, why was that so hard to get out? Golly. I feel like after a while, man, of just yapping, my brain just gets super slow, so I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap that shit up right there, bro. That's why I feel like, yeah, that's a future that I could respect with this DTC, direct to consumer type thing. You know what I'm saying? So, alright, go ahead, Jacoby, man, my bad.
And it sounds so simple, right? Because, I mean, let's be real. Being direct to consumer is not a new thing in the music industry. We've seen good examples of that from back in the day with like Master P and No Limit, you know what I'm saying? Even to like MF Doom before he passed. There's been a lot of examples of good direct to consumer relationships within the music artist community. But I think that everybody got so caught up by the streaming game. They saw all the massive numbers that were coming out of it, especially during the early TikTok viral era. And I get it. Everybody wanted to go try to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to shoot the shot and see where it landed them. And a part of me feels like not only were we waiting for the fans to catch up with where artists needed to be in the industry, right? Like not only were we waiting for consumer behavior to shift, but we were also waiting for a good indie artist example to show that it's possible.
He's like, hold on, you got more than 100 people to buy my album and they don't know who I was? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm posting this right now. He goes live on Instagram, posts it. He makes $27,000 in a matter of hours. I met Lil Russell in September. I did a call with him. First thing,
Lil Russell, man. Shout out Lil Russell, bro. I feel like, his model definitely. And like, yo, here's another thing that I just wanted to point out in the MOS part, bro, that I didn't point out, is the fact that this kind of model, right, this kind of DTC model, even the Lil Russ version of it, right, it just like, it could have you not known by people maybe at the other end of, the planet, you know what I'm saying, that may just potentially fall in love with your music, you feel me, like, let's say if the possibility of your music to reach that other part of the planet was possible, you know what I'm saying, with you becoming a direct to consumer. I mean, at that point you need the middleman, right, of which we trying to cut the middleman out. But so, they may not know your music is what I'm trying to say, but that's cool too, because the people that are here, bro, it's about going deeper with them. It's about like, deepening your value with these that you have here instead of widening your reach, right? So it's about deepening the value instead of widening the reach, of which it's like, once you get into this loop of creating music, this current loop that everybody's in, of creating music for the algorithm, you know what I'm saying, you easily fall into that rabbit hole of just like, I just want to widen the reach instead of deepen the value. You see what I'm saying? Because now you end up having to cater for a whole range of people, instead of like sticking to the people that really mess with your music heavy. Doubling down, tripling down on that type. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yo. I actually think I pointed out a whole lot of, the main points that I wanted to just get across right here. You know what I'm saying? The fact that, homie's young. Homie is going through, the generational, I feel like a whole lot of people may coin these generational curses or whatever, generational limitations, downfalls, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, these generational patterns that I've seen even like people of older previous generations go through, you know what I'm saying? The fact that, yo, you have to you go through the pressure where you do have to get out the crib by a certain age, where you have to take responsibilities, by a certain time, you know what I'm saying, at a certain point in time type shit, where, you know what I mean, like the perception of you just changes like kind of prematurely, so that it forces you to grow up, you know what I'm saying, especially when that kind of perception changes by, from people who are closest to you, your family members, you know what I'm saying. Everything needs to change, but then now it's more than just like a generational thing via your own bloodline. It's it transcends, what can I say, bro, it transcends just like geographical location, because you might get into it was easy to fall into the mindset of thinking that you're going through something just by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Before things like the internet, before you got things like social media, where you can see other people from other parts of the world that are going through like generational like patterns that you may deem as negative or whatever, but they go through those kind of patterns and they're not even close to you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. For me, that's a interesting phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? And TSJ right here, he's from Jersey, I think. You know what I'm saying? New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? And he's like not far off from what I see a whole lot of my younger African brothers and sisters go through out here. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, yo, yes, you are like of a younger generation, but I mean, I'm millennial. I'm like the tail end of millennial. But the whole pressure of, yo, by a certain age, nigga, we are a family that don't got it all together. We are a family that don't, you know what I'm saying? We're not comfortable. We've never been comfortable. We've been a struggling family. This, that, and the third, bro. So you gotta like get up off your ass and do, exactly what all of us, you know what I'm saying? Even the generations that came before us, you gotta do what we've done to at least sustain yourself. We've taken you at least this far. Now you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do the exact same thing that we did. It's like, yo, but I got my own dreams, my own aspirations, my own way of like, my own intuition that I'm trying to follow, and knowing that, following that will, help me manifest what's best for me, type shit. And then you get things like family members that just don't understand that, especially when it comes from your caregivers, people like your moms, your pops, you feel me? Or if you wasn't raised by those people, like whatever caregiver, you know what I'm saying? Grandmom, granddad, auntie, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Adopted family, like people that just like don't get where your heart is trying to be at, all because of these generational programmings that have, had us need to repeat cycles so that we at least stay surviving, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like, the growing pains where it's like, okay, now I'm at an age where I gotta juggle that. I gotta juggle the fact that I'm my own human being. I have to honor my own humanity, my own soul, bro. You know what I'm saying? My own visions, my own dreams. Because then again, it's like, if God gives me all of that and I don't like just heed those calls, it's like, then what's the point of me having those? It can drive people into psychosis. You understand what I'm saying? It's an interesting phenomenon that even a Gen Z such as TSJ is going through that. And you know what I mean? This video, run it back, or just go to his channel and run his channel up, especially for my Gen Zs out there, for my younger brothers and sisters out there. It's like, yo, I see these struggles. Y'all go through this too. It's crazy, and I can see it's crazy. But then now the question is, how do we strike that balance of chasing our own, dreams, chasing our own aspirations, while being human beings that are just locked into or trapped into not psychological, generational patterns that have been going on even within our families. You know what I'm saying? Family curses. You know what I'm saying? Generational family curses. And it's like, yo, the Gen Z generation, knowing that they're not the only ones, subjectively speaking, they're not the only ones going through this, I think they're now getting that fire of like, yo, I gotta make this work. I gotta, put XYZ together. Do my little content creation, do my little side hustle. You know what I'm saying? My little side gigging. This generation is the one generation where side gigging has become a thing. Where side gig, you can like really come up off of like different side gigs at the same time while doing your main like salary 9-to-5 type job type thing. And you know what I'm saying? Knowing that these avenues can also just be sustainable enough, bro, for you to live off of. You feel what I'm saying? And I fuck with the fact that TSJ right here is on this journey. He a young man. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about he's 22. His parents, his mother. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a single parent. He only mentions his mother. You feel me? His mother, telling him, yo, you gotta get it together, son. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get out there. It's time. He like, yo, but mom, like, I'm not even ready. Like, should I be out the house, Or maybe he's not like seeing it like that. He's like, man, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just get out the nah, kidding. Maybe not. I don't know. You feel me? But I'm tapped in, bro. Like I want to see the journey. And if you're part of Gen Z, dog, going through these kind of things, bro, tap in, bro. Tap into TSJ IRL. That's his IRL channel. He also has a reaction channel. He has a music channel. You know what I'm saying? All of these side gigs, bro, because he's trying to pull his vision together so that it works out for the good of he who believes in his own dream. Man, come on. Of he who believes in themselves, bro. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was gonna spin that religion